Hello and welcome to the Brandon Smith Rugby channel here on YouTube. And what a weekend we had in the second round of the Six Nations, which saw Wales, England and France all come away with victories. This is my dream team from the round, the best players according to stats, performances, leadership and a whole host of other aspects. As always, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe as we push towards 1,000 subscribers. Let me know your dream team down in the comments below and also like the video. Let's crack on and see who starts in the fullback position in my team. So starting out fullback for me, it's got to be Stuart Hogg, and he really has grown into this leadership role for Scotland over the past year or so. I had question marks over his ability to be a leader, but he certainly has proven me wrong. 2 tries on the day for Scotland, and they'll count themselves very unlucky to not have won this game. Again, in the first round, he's brilliant, but focusing on round 2, 2 tries for him, 80 metres made, 100% tackle success rate is something that cannot be sniffed at. And I also thought his kicking game, once again, was top notch. So Stuart Hogg is in the team for me. Heading over to the first of the 2 wingers then, and it can be no one else but Louis Rees-Zammit. This kid is exceptional. As a Wales fan, I'm absolutely buzzing to see what he can do for us over the next few years, but also over the rest of the tournament. The kid is fantastic. 3 tries so far in this tournament. 2 tries, 1 try assist and 61 metres made is something not to be sniffed at. He needs to work on his defence a little bit, but in this game, brilliant. The second try especially, he backed himself. He played without fear. He knew he had the pace on Hogg and he backed himself. And that kick, to kick that ball with that technique at that speed, it's not an easy thing to do. He's been smashing it for Gloucester and he rightly goes into my team. Let me know in the comments down below if you're Wales fans. How far can this kid go? How good can he really be? Let me know in the comments down below. Staying in Wales then for this one, I've gone with Owen Watkin, struggling to find a incredible centre who could play the 13 jersey. He really stood out this weekend. I've gone with Owen Watkin because of that tap tackle. That's the only reason. A brilliant tap tackle on Duran van der Merwe. If he doesn't do that, I think he gets the offload off target. I think Hogg scores. And I think Scotland will win the game from that. That's the only reason I've got him in there. I couldn't think of anyone else. Then heading over to the next centre, it is Gaël Fickou. Gaël Fickou on his 60th cap. And what a leader this guy is turning out to be for France. One of the most experienced players in the squad now. He's been there for a long time, but he's still putting in top-notch performances. A try assist, but also he got 10 tackles, 0 missed, 100 tackle success rate. And as a centre, you want that assurity in the middle of the park that they're going to be able to put in big dominant tackles that are going to slow the opposition down. And as I said, a brilliant leader and a brilliant professional as well. He's able to play across the back line, but what a performance he had for France as they beat Ireland. Heading over to the wing. Now, this player didn't actually play in the number 11 jersey. He played in the number 14, but I have put him in the number 11 jersey. He was very close to being Johnny May, but I put Anthony Watson. And as a winger, all you want to see is tries. And he certainly did that against Italy. 2 tries for him, 160 metres made, 6 broken tackles. He was a menace. And I think he's bulked up a lot. And he's shown that in his performances, how he is able to get over the gain line as well. And I think he's a huge addition to this England team, this Six Nations, after struggling with injuries. So in the number 11 shirt, it's Anthony Watson. Now to the halfback pairings. And at 10, I didn't feel like anyone particularly stood out once again, but one player maybe just ahead of everyone else was Jalibert for France. A try assist. He did miss one quite important kick, but I feel like he plays with heads at rugby. There were a lot of concerns before the tournament with the injury to Ntamack. How would they cope without him? But the understanding between Dupont and Jalibert has been brilliant. Jalibert as well, I think one thing he did so well against Ireland was his clearance kicks were very, very effective. He got good distance on them, either made them competitive or got that good distance that was necessary. Didn't put any really bad kicks in. The only dampener, as I said, on his performance was that miss kick, which was a fairly easy conversion for him to get. But he put in a solid performance, and at the end of the day, you can't ignore stats. He got a try assist, and his all-round game was very, very impressive. But let me know down in the comments down below, when Ntamack comes back, does he go straight into the starting lineup, or does Jalibert keep his place? The scrum half position is another difficult one for me. I didn't feel anyone particularly stood out this weekend, but I've given it to Antoine Dupont. A different type of performance from him this week. Maybe a little bit more defensive, maybe a little bit less of an influence on the game, but he was doing little bits around the park which impressed me. For sure, he's the best scrum half in the world. And on this game, 2 offloads, 2 broken tackles, 12 tackles made, so put in a defensive shift. I felt like Ireland marshalled him pretty well throughout the game, to be honest, and he didn't really get the freedom that he would have wanted to have got, but he also played pretty well. His kicking game as well is fantastic. His box kicking, something that Ireland can certainly learn from, but he is the best scrum half in the world and probably the best scrum half over the course of the weekend. So there we go. We've reached halfway point. We're now going to move to the forwards. If you're enjoying so far, be sure to subscribe and also let me know your thoughts on my team and who would you put in your team in the comments down below. Let's move on to the forwards then, starting with the number 8. This guy probably had the best game of the whole weekend, in my opinion. Gregory Aldrit. His stats are unreal for this game, and he's been absolutely smashing it recently. And he's probably the best 8 in the world right now. Gregory Aldrit, 80 minutes played, 89 meters made, 6 passes, 0 passes missed, 2 offloads, 5 broken tackles, and then defensively 12 tackles made and 100% tackle success rate. This guy has an absolute stormer of a game. He gets over the gain line. He's a powerful runner, but also he puts in a shift defensively. He's a very exciting player. And this France team just looked brilliant, and they were so organised. And Sean Edwards has really stamped his authority and his style of defending on this team. But what a performance from Gregory Aldrit as France won a game that it probably suited Ireland, the style of play, more, but they adapted their game well. And they were very, very disciplined in this one, and they deservedly won it. Into the number 7 jersey, it is Hamish Watson. This guy continues to excel and continues to push for that Lions jersey, and what a performance once again for him. Unfortunately, on the losing side for Scotland, but once again, 80 minutes played, 39 meters made, 2 tackles broken. Defensively is where he stands out as always. Tackles made 13 and 0 missed. That means 100% tackle success rate, and then also 2 turnovers won. His ability at the breakdown to slow down the ball is exemplary. It is incredible. And with them playing France next, he's going to have to be at the top of his game to slow that ball down. I felt like Ireland on the whole did pretty well at slowing the French ball down, but there were moments where France got going. While Hamish Watson is going to have to show the kind of form he has shown so far, if they're going to be able to stop the likes of Dupont getting quick ball and again the ball to the likes of Jalibert and Ficou and Penaud. But a brilliant performance from him once again, and again a leader who is really making a difference to that Scotland side. Heading then to the number 6 jersey, it is Charles Olivon who got the first try of the game. They actually got a try when they were down to 14 men, which shows the quality of this French team. Once again, his stats read brilliantly. 1 try, 31 meters made, 100% pass success rate, 19 tackles made. Flipping heck. The guy put in a heck of a shift, only missing 1 tackle, which gave him a 95% tackle success rate. And also, he managed to get a turnover in the process. So a really good shift from Charles Olivon. And again, a young captain who's thriving in this French side. Next up then is a player who ended up on the losing side. It is Ian Henderson playing in the lock position. An interesting one for me. I think he led really well from the front. Of course, it was concerning to see him going off with that hedge injury. We hope he's okay. He did come back on, so we hope there's nothing afterwards that's going to affect him all that much. But again, he's just a warrior, isn't he? The line out worked really well. Once again, Ireland set pieces looked really good over the course of the tournament so far. But they lack that little bit of creativity, don't they? You feel like they do a little bit. But Ian Henderson, what a performance from him. Stood up as captain in this team. A great performance from him. We're going to stay with an Irishman. It's Tad Byrne, plays in the number 4 shirt alongside Ian Henderson. Played 72 minutes of game, so not the full 80, but put in a heck of a shift. 10 tackles made, 0 tackles missed, so 100% tackle success rate, and 3 turnovers won is very, very impressive from him. And I do actually think Ireland probably won the battle of the breakdown on the whole against France. And that was going to be key if they're going to drive France close. And, you know, I spoke to many an Irishman before the game, and they said that they couldn't see them winning. And for Ireland to get this close, and of course, James Lowe's disallowed try, which was rightly disallowed, of course, but Ireland pushed them close. I don't feel like Ireland have played badly so far. I just think they need that little bit of creativity, that little bit of spark that could unlock that defence. Of course, they have Italy next, which will be a much easier opposition than France. So you'd expect them to get a result there. But Tad Byrne, what a performance from him. We move to the final three. Then the front row looks like this. In the number 3 jersey, when he won man of the match against the Italians, it's Kyle Sinclair. Scrummaged very well, kept his head for most of the game, which was good to see. Something Owen Farrell is struggling a little bit with, and I'm not sure if he's the perfect captain for England, but Kyle Sinclair, very good performance from him. Scrummaged well, carried well, and put in a few decent tackles as well. So Kyle Sinclair goes into the team for me. In the hooker position then, we have George Turner. What a find he's been for Scotland. Third choice hooker before the tournament. And although Scotland's line-out was not as good as last week, still, to get 95% of their line-outs correct is quite an achievement. And it's not always the hooker's fault when the line-out goes wrong. I felt like he scrummaged well. Once again, Scotland maybe had a little bit of an upper hand at the scrum in this one. But he's putting a heck of a shift, this guy. And he's been a real find for Scotland. Finally, the front row member, the final player on this team is Wyn Jones. This guy has had a brilliant tournament so far. Turnovers here, turnovers there, scrum success. He's been brilliant. He's really helped us out, and he carries well around the park. Is he an option for the Lions? Potentially, but he's certainly starting for Wales now. I think we've found our front row. We got Wyn Jones, we got Ken Owens, and we got Thomas Francis. I think that is our front row. But Wyn Jones, what a performance from him. And finally, who do I say is my coach of the weekend? I think you've got to give it to Fabien Galthié. I think to go to Dublin, and although the style of play really didn't suit what France wanted to do, and I thought Ireland stifled France's attack a lot and kicked pretty well on the whole to be competitive in that sense. I think the way they went round it, the way they kept their discipline throughout the game, which is not something you can say of France very often over the past few years. He's really instilled a belief that the players can go and have some creativity, but also alongside Shaun Edwards, they've got that discipline, they've got that defensive structure, and they look like the real deal. So there we go. That is my team for round 2. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on this team. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Although there's no Six Nations this weekend, there will be a watch on Sunday as we watch London Irish take on Bristol Bears. Coverage for that will start at 2:45 with kickoff at 3 o'clock. So do join us for that one. Anyway, I'll see you very soon here on the Bonus Smith Rugby channel. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, enjoy the rugby, and I'll see you very soon.